Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't have to, and today we are looking at Palantir Technologies PLTR stock forecasts for the year of 2022, which is this year, and what the stock price could be all the way out till 2025. We're going to go over their latest news updates, some of their earnings and revenue projections for their approaching earnings report, and we're going to talk about their main growth drivers for the future, and whether or not Palantir is still a good buying opportunity right now. Then we're going to talk about Senseonics SENS stock, and I'm going to go over the latest news updates about why the SENS stock has surged by around 10.93% recently, on top of the latest news for their FDA approval for their 180-day glucose monitoring system. After that, we're going to talk about Nano Dimension and why Nano Dimension's NNDM stock has shot up around 21.17% just in the last 2 weeks, which is really good news, especially if we timed this bottom well. I'm also going to talk about how Nano Dimension is still a fantastic value play, and it's not too late to get into this highly speculative growth play if you want to, because that is exactly what Deutsche Bank has been doing for Nano Dimension. They snagged around $77,000 worth of this speculative value growth play right now, and I think this should give investors some confidence about the future of Nano Dimension. But with that being said, remember to go and smash the like button for more videos like this one, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe if you are new, and without further ado, let's get right into today's stories. So Palantir Technologies PLTR stock is a software and technology company that specializes in big data and analytics, and they do this by offering several platforms such as their Gotham platform, their Apollo platform, and their Foundry platform, which are all extremely innovative, particularly in AI capabilities and data interpretation. I also made a recent video about Palantir's 5-year partnership with Satellogic and how the company Satellogic is going to receive great benefits from this partnership, and how they just recently went public, and how I think this is also bullish news for Palantir Technologies. But let's get into the good stuff. What is Palantir's stock forecasts for 2022 and 2025? Well, to start off, we will talk about their current stock price, which is lower than $13 currently. But a good catalyst could be coming up for the company, because they are going to deliver their fourth quarter earnings report for 2021 as well as the entire year, which is going to be on February 17th, and to me, Palantir is going to deliver an earnings beat as well as a revenue beat. Although the PLTR stock has been falling and crashing due to macroeconomic factors, due to the Fed increasing interest rates, the geopolitical tension between Russia, the United States, and Ukraine, bond interest rates increasing, as well as investors taking their money out of speculative growth plays and even growth stocks and technology stocks in general to invest more into value stocks. However, with that being said, these are only short-term obstacles, but for Palantir Technologies, I've always said that this is a medium to long-term play. So if you are not willing to hold past 2023 or especially 2025, you may not even want to be in this particular company, because those are the years when their partnerships are really going to start to pay off for the company, which is why I believe that Palantir stock looks extremely cheap right now and could be considered a fantastic buying opportunity for aggressive growth investors. Just look at their revenue per customer that has increased in their top 20 customers, which has increased from $5.6 million all the way up to $24.8 million, and as we can see, a fantastic positive slope from this visual graph that's on screen. But if you can't see the graph on screen, just know that it shows their revenues per their top 20 customers are scaling very impressively, and it's supposed to continue growing. Palantir has a huge first mover and competitive advantage because they have been working on their AI algorithms for nearly 20 years now, which gives it a significant head start compared to any competitors, as well as a huge technological advantage because other companies are just getting on this AI train within the last decade or so. So what does this mean for Palantir's forecasts for 2025? Well, for Palantir's 2022 stock price, it currently trades at around $13, but their 2022 stock price prediction, according to a Jefferies analyst, has the stock at a $21 price target for the beginning of 2023. So in around 12 months, this analyst believes that the stock is going to crawl all the way back up to $21 per share. However, he did lower his price prediction from $24 down to $21, but the analyst still says that Palantir is a clear buying opportunity right now, which is why he maintains his buy rating for the overall company. Forecasting out all the way to 2025 gets rather dicey, and this is where our educated guesses become more of speculation instead of a true estimation that is based on data, because it does depend on how the company plans to scale. For instance, their 2025 price targets range anywhere from $30 per share all the way up to around $68 per share. Currently, Palantir has a resistance of around $13.17, which it's actually hovering at right now, and if it doesn't break this resistance soon or maintain their price above this resistance, we could see the stock price fall down to $11.09 for a support, and if it falls lower than that, if it hits $9.09, it will bounce back up above $10. Now, if you are very bearish and negative on the company, you most likely think this will happen, but currently the demand is keeping the stock between around $12 and $15, so the stock is waiting for a catalyst, just like its earning report, to either break these resistance levels or for the stock to potentially fall below its support levels. So depending on this upcoming earnings report, this could dictate where the stock price goes next. So we can hope for very positive news for their upcoming earnings report. And again, that earnings report is going to be on February 17th of 2022. But if you want to hold Palantir until 2023 or past 2025, it is a good long-term play. So if you do not want to hold a Palantir for medium or long term, this may not be the stock for you if you're not willing to stomach the volatility and digest the stock price going up and down very dramatically at times. So the Jefferies analyst that we talked about earlier that has the $21 price target actually has revenue guidance for Palantir's earnings report, and he says that Palantir's revenues are going to come in at around $418 million, which would represent around a 30% increase. He also thinks that Palantir's government segment will be their main driver for growth going into 2023. However, I actually tend to disagree with him here, and I think that their commercial segment eventually will pass their government revenues, and I think that it could give their government segment a run for their money going into 2023. This is why analysts currently predict that the future growth acceleration from both of their segments, particularly on the US commercial side, is going to bolster their overall revenues and thus the stock price. The average stock price among analysts for the PLTR stock currently hovers at around $20.71, and this actually means that the current PLTR stock is undervalued right now by around 59%, which gives us fantastic upside opportunity even if we get and buy the stock right now. So overall, if you are a long-term investor into Palantir Technologies, the future does look bright for this particular company. Now let's move on to Senseonics SENS stock, which recently jumped by around 10.93%. Currently, the SENS stock price trades at $3.59. The low-end price target according to analysts is 80 cents, the average price consensus is $3.57, and the high-end price prediction according to analysts is $6 per share. If you didn't know, Senseonics creates and sells continuous glucose monitoring systems for people with diabetes to check their blood glucose levels, and they have a very innovative 180-day system, which is the only long-term dependable glucose monitoring system on the market right now, which is currently under approval by the FDA. So once it does get approved, which I definitely think it will, it could act as a fantastic catalyst, and then long-term it's going to give them more revenues because right now they only have a 90-day CGM system in the United States, and as their technology improves, it can go up to a whole year. The most bullish institution on Senseonics right now is H.C. Wainwright, which repeated their SENS buy rating for the stock and says that the stock could reach $6 by the end of 2022, which is fantastic news. And they have not budged from this ever since August 19th of 2021, which is when their buy rating and this price target actually came in for the stock. However, on the other hand, we have another institution such as SVB Leerink, which has a market perform rating for the SENS stock with a price target of $3. So this price target would say that the stock could downtrend and that right now wouldn't be a good time to buy SENS stock. However, H.C. Wainwright says that this is a good buying opportunity, so you are going to have to weigh the pros and cons for this particular speculative company to see if this company fits inside of your portfolio. Now let's talk about Nano Dimension's NNDM stock, which recently rose by 21.17% just in the last 14 days. The current market cap sits at around $925.62 million, which means that investors think the company is worth $925.62 million, which makes no sense because the company has around $1.2 billion on their balance sheet right now. So at minimum, just taking the cash or short-term cash equivalents on their balance sheet says that the company is worth more than this, and a 200-day moving average of $5.20, and this is actually above the stock's current price, which trades at $3.78. They also have a low average and high-end price target, according to one analyst, of $10 per share. So at minimum, this is undervalued and it's a fantastic value play on top of a very speculative growth play. So allocating a low percentage to this company may be beneficial for your overall portfolio, which is exactly what we see Deutsche Bank and other institutions doing. Specifically in the third quarter, I wanted to highlight that Deutsche Bank AG actually increased their Nano Dimension's NNDM stock position by around 389% by purchasing around 10,885 shares, which means that their total value of Nano Dimension is worth around $77,000. Several other hedge funds have either increased their position or started a new position in Nano Dimension by around $26,000, $31,000, $43,000, $48,000, and $71,000 respectively. The company is also anticipated to crush past revenue performance because the company had revenues of around $1.34 million during the most recent quarter, with a negative earnings per share of around 7 cents. However, with their new acquisitions and multiple subsidiaries now, so they can be more effective at printing multi-layered circuit boards, radio frequency antennas, sensors, conductive geometries, and molded connected devices for prototyping, this is going to explode their revenues, and we can easily anticipate a revenues beat. So with that news update for these stocks, I would love to hear your thoughts about the PLTR stock, the SENS stock, and Nano Dimension's NNDM stock. Remember to smash that like button right now, subscribe if you're new, comment your thoughts down below, and I will see you in the next YT video.